Well, there is a lot going on the University of Oregon campus, and today we're just going to focus on the law school. Michael Moffitt is the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the law school. That's a mouthful.
It is.
And that's just one of the things you do over there. So I really appreciate you stopping by. Now, just wondering about, what we were just talking about in the break, the recent BCS appearance of the Ducks. And has that have applications started coming in as a result of that?
Well, we're getting more applications. We don't have a box for them to check that says it's because of the BCS. I think that the University of Oregon in general is prominent now in a way that it hasn't been in a long time, and I'm sure that we're benefiting from that. I think that at least what the students are telling us, they are applying for a lot of the programs that we're offering that are national recognition. Doesn't hurt that the football team is good.
Right, right. The future of law jobs, where do you see that going? What are the students telling you that they're interested in going into in the future?
Well, what our students are telling us, we're interested in where they're finding the jobs, don't always match, but I think that that part of that is because the landscape for legal jobs is changing. If it used to be routine, if it's easy, it at this point. And so the future of legal jobs, like a lot of jobs, are going to depend on those things that you really need: talented, skilled, experienced people helping real people solve real problems. There's no shortage of those opportunities. It's going to require students to be creative. The lawyers they see on TV probably aren't the model of lawyers that they're going to be for their careers, and that's probably a good thing.
Well, okay, let's kind of talk about your path. You received your degree from Harvard. You did some teaching. You did some mediation work. You worked as a law clerk for a U.S. District Court judge, and now you're in administration. So, talk a little bit about how you finessed your mediation skills into kind of how you're spending your spare time these days.
Well, I still do a little bit of mediating, not nearly as much as I used to do in the past. I still sometimes do some mediation, primarily with public school districts and teachers unions, and so I've been part of a number of those.
So are you part of the discussion right now as a result of the state budget cuts and all this talk that's going on in Salem?
Yeah, these are hard days. There's some really hard choices that people need to make, and no one imagines that that by having a good conversation you'll find a lot of money that didn't otherwise exist. But if you can manage those conversations well, you can at least do the best you can. And so I'm working with the folks in Springfield right now. I've done contracts in the past in Springfield and Eugene and Corvallis, and it's just one of the ways that as a member of the community, if I can help them navigate these hard waters, I'm happy to do that.
Thinking globally now, you did some work with some of the Russian states. What is going on in the Middle East? Could you see lawyers from this country helping, students from this country helping that situation, those situations over there?
We've actually got a lot of our graduates on the ground in other countries working, and that's one of the things about a modern legal education. Some people get it and just go and practice law. A lot of people who are getting their law degrees today are going off and doing things all over the world that don't necessarily look like traditional lawyering. And so there are people on the ground, including from the U of O, in a lot of the countries in the Middle East and in Africa and in Haiti, doing good work with the government, trying to, again, solve problems, using the law as one of the tools for solving those problems.
And I think all of the, well, we're just at the beginning of the technological advances that are coming down, and all the ramifications around that. I can't even imagine.
Well, the more opportunities there are for people to interact, the more opportunities there are for great, creative, value-creating things to happen, and the more we bump into each other, the more prospect for conflict there is. And so people well-trained in dealing with those differences are going to be, conflict is a growth industry, it turns out.
That's a good one. Well, come back, okay, when you have some extra time on your hands. I appreciate you coming.